Oh,
lovely.
Look at that. That is disgusting.
I like how you can catch the green antifreeze in it too.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the cash can is whistling. Oh, that is diabolical.
I think we'll be changing the oil again shortly after this.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty of oil. Hey guys, this is Al again. So I think we're pretty much close to finished. We ran into an issue, and I'll show you a quick video of that when we put everything back together again, but the car ran like crap and we were trying to figure out what was wrong with it. I remember the kid mentioning that one of the plugs, the electrical plugs, was disconnected, and there's really three items in there. There's the warm-up regulator, the cold start injector, and what I think is a frequency valve. And a frequency valve is something that was put on CIS injected cars sometime in the 80s to help with emissions, and it talked to an O2 sensor. I don't know much about it except that anytime I've seen it, threw it out, and the car always ran better without it. So we disconnected everything. We disconnected the cold start injector. It was running super rich. It was getting black smoke out of the exhaust. It really just sounded like exactly how it sounded when the engine was overheated. So we threw everything out, unplugged everything. So we unplugged everything, and we fired it back up again, and it ran great. There was a high idle, but we think that that's down to like a vacuum leak. I just got underneath it and tightened up the exhaust manifold bolts. We broke a few bolts on the exhaust, not the manifold, but the downpipe that joins to the main exhaust system. So that was just done right now. It was a good thing that we had some parts cars that we could use. Obviously tightened up some fuel lines. We had to helicoil a thread in the driver's side exhaust manifold, which is where the EGR piping is. That stud broke, so we fixed it by threading it, and then we used a bolt instead of a stud, and it worked okay. Everything's on. What else? The big problem that we had is that some of the gaskets that came with that decarb kit weren't the right ones. So the one on top of the intake manifold, the main one that goes into the plenum, that wasn't right. The one that goes to the EGR pipe, the little triangular one, wrong shape again. So that kind of stuff is a little bit frustrating because, when you're buying parts from the UK and you've got to wait for it to be shipped, it's like every single time you stop, you're not stopping just to run over to a parts store, to Worldpac or to AutoZone or wherever you need to go. You've got to wait 3 or 4 days before the parts come back in. So it would have been nice if everything was right, but that is what it is. Let me just pull the camera off and show you what we got. This, you can see that plug, that connector over there. Let's see if you can see it well enough. there you go, this guy over here, you can see it's unplugged. That's unplugged there. So that is one of the plugs that I disconnected. You know, on the other side, we disconnected the cold start injector, but I reconnected it right now, just for now, to see if it helped any. And lastly, there's a warm-up regulator, and I can never find out where that freaking thing sits. So I'm not sure if you can see it well enough through all that piping, but that's the warm-up regulator right underneath the AC compressor. And that looks like it's still plugged in right now, so I'm going to leave it where it is, and we're going to see if we can get it started. So you know, the only thing unplugged is that frequency valve, and I think it's a frequency valve that's a problem. So let's fire it up and see if it runs, and if it runs good enough, then great. Oh, that is unplugged. So the warm-up regulator is still unplugged. I tell you what, man, whoever put this warm-up regulator over here needs a punch in the mouth. Alright. Alright, it's on. Right, let's hear it. Alright guys, so I ran it for about 15-20 minutes, and it's got an exhaust leak right, let me see if I have my little drop light. Alright, so I ran it for about 20 minutes. It's got an exhaust leak right at that fitting over here, the connection between the exhaust manifold and the downpipe. So I've got to tighten that down and make sure it fits okay. You can see it's a little bit off, which makes sense why it's still leaking. But all in all, the car's got a mess, and I tried pulling the plugs, a couple of the plugs, plug wires, while it was running, and to see if I can detect the miss, but it was kind of hard to detect, and I kind of felt like I was going to electrocute myself if I kept on doing it, because you know, it's I could actually hear the sparks from the plug wires. But so I'll use a proper spark plug tester, and I think I have one lying around somewhere, so I'll test on that tomorrow or maybe sometime in the week. But one nice thing, the temperature never got really that high. I'm not getting any kind of stiff hoses, which is a really good way to tell that you've got head gasket problems, is if your hoses are stiff. That didn't happen. Let me get the infrared thermometer. So infrared thermometer is reading around 80 degrees Celsius, which is what it was reading as well while it was running. So that's a good thing. That's there. I think the sending unit is bad because it's still reading a pretty low temperature at the dash, and obviously I want to get that taken care of so that I don't continue to run into this problem again. It was there was a little bit of penetrating oil and everything else like that on the engine, so it was a little bit smoky to begin with, but that all burnt away, so that's great. The mist is the only concerning part right now. If I can smoothen that out, I'll be happy. In the dashboard, the car is showing fantastic oil pressure, much higher than it was when before I had this problem. So I guess the valve stem seals really helped, and I'm hoping if I can get through this issue, I'll be on the home run. All right, guys. So there you have it. Tune in next week if you are interested, and I should have an update. Hopefully, I'll fix that problem with the engine mist, and hopefully I can get it back on the road. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.